you need to really be on the ball for exactly where your clears are. And I think that's also why combos might be pretty strong going into it.
Do you choose to battle me?
So now we have
coming
losers
up,
quarters.
we have Monty back on it, playing against I Like Being Smart, sticking with the original characters as well.
Work harder, young one.
So we have Monty moving back to level 8.
We're not
I'm not sure how the adjustment is after you played a winners at level 9, but you know, I assume it'd be quite a relief.
I'd say it's a little easier. It's always not so much of an adjustment to go down to a slower speed.
Than to move up.
Definitely moving up to a faster speed is going to require some sort of adjustment.
Yeah.
And the pressure from Monty was just too much. I Like Being Smart could not take it.
Yeah. She just missed that 5 combo also by 1 spot, so maybe a growing trend of why she isn't top 3, question mark?
work harder, young one.
I do think that in this match, Monty would be favored.
We are not beat yet.
I think, but both players are veterans of this. They've been playing this and both have very good times in the speed run, so it's kind of hard to draw a clear favorite from it.
Especially at like level 8, where both players are given a little more time. You know, the gap also closes a little bit than if they were playing at like maybe level 10. I know Monty has a lot more experience, but 9 and 10 than I Like Being Smart. So this is a more even playing field for 2 very seasoned players.
It is hard to really say who would shine in level 10 because there's not many
Level 10
players.
is a different monster.
There's not many players who prefer level 10, except for those that are
Veterans of versus mode. You don't really see level 10 outside of versus mode.
I would only think Windsor loves level 10.
That's actually all he plays. That's all he
Yeah.
plays is level
He is a very special case.
10.
Most players prefer 8 and 9, where you're still given some forgiveness with like miss switches. Where I don't believe 10 has that at all, and you have the extra color and all that.
Yeah, 10 is there for the really
For Monty, or not for Monty, for Blinzer.
For Blinzer, yeah.
That's what it's there for.
We'll say who that's. All right, Monty going up 2-0 here. And he's going to take Golbat, the worst Pokemon in the entire game.
I wouldn't say the worst, but he's definitely up there.
Well, he's also, I think, the only one that appears twice.
Yeah, for Team Rocket as well. Team
Yeah.
Rocket's Golbat is definitely worse, just because of how much worse Team Rocket is when you make a combo.
Yes, that is true.
We are not beat yet. We are not beat yet. Work harder, young one. We are not beat yet.
Yeah, I Like Being Smart is maybe running a little short on blocks here. In a very
Able to
dangerous
get that
position.
clear. The chain's
Still
keeping her
alive?
alive.
I think after this, she'll be fine. Yeah, she'll definitely be
She's
fine.
got that second tier as well.
She got that
Yep.
nice combo.
Oh, but she didn't clear the block with that.
I know. I think she'll still be fine.
We are not beat yet.
Yeah, that was just instantly a ton of stop time. So all those combos and chaining combos gives you a lot to work with.
And it worked for her.
Yeah. We
Monty
weren't.
wasn't able to keep up the pressure.
He wasn't ready for the counterattack there.
Yeah. I totally was just looking at one side and not the other. You know, that instant reversal.
Work harder, young one.
Both players off to really strong attacks.
We are not beat yet,
We have Monty topped off.
young one. We are not beat yet.
A little worried because both players are very low on blocks.
We are not beat yet.
We got some nice layering going on Monty's side. Good stuff from ilikebeingsmart.
We are not beat yet. We are not beat yet.
Yeah, so because of that 1-5 combo trash block, all that block on top was inaccessible for a very long time for Monty.
We are not beat
Both players here handling the garbage very well,
Yeah,
and you just know that they're just waiting for one moment where they're not doing something for all of that garbage to come crashing down.
dangerously low on blocks again. And we are out of there.
We are not beat yet.
These players are starting to like get more combos. You know, that could be part of their strategy, or it could be that they are like playing extremely defensively, trying to, you know, garner like little bits of stop time wherever they can.
They're
Oh,
definitely-
no.
Oh no! And
That
gonna-
is,
Oh wow, down to the last possible clear with that
Yeah.
force kill.
that is a very big block mismanagement. And that also does happen quite often as you're trying to clear blocks just to kind of like keep your stop time up.
Mhm.
And then you just, you know, nonchalantly get rid of the blocks that you need to actually stay alive. And I do believe that was what was happening.
All right, so Monty with a lot of blocks to work with here. And a very nice skill chain there.
We are not beat yet. We are not
One
beat
thing
yet.
that
I haven't really noticed a whole lot was a lot of those
We are
those
not
frame
beat yet.
perfect switch clears that we see in the speed
We are
run.
not beat yet.
Mostly
Mhm.
probably because at level 8 they're a lot harder to do.
We are not beat
The
yet.
timing is just way different than what people are used to doing, and also they're a little bit more risky because if you miss them, it could end up killing you.
Yeah, I know FFR went for quite a few at level 9,
Not beat yet.
which I was really impressed by. But I don't think most players would go for
We
it,
are not beat yet.
unless if you are extremely confident in your ability to do them at this fast of a speed.
they're definitely trickier to do at this speed, just because the timing is
We are not
Is
beat
off from what you're probably used to doing them at. Like we said, S hard is probably at about a 5 or a 6, probably closer to 6. So 8, which is hugely different. The timing for it is completely different.
Absolutely, and even in between like level 8 and level 9, the timing is different. You know, just because you can do it at 9, you might not be able to do it at 8, and vice versa.
We are not beat yet.
So, you know, it's not a skill that you want to rely on in a tournament match.
We're pushing the 2-minute mark again at level 8 here.
Yeah, we're definitely with players who are very comfortable with this level of speed.
Yeah, it's about the 2-minute mark that we start to see stop time start to look like level 9. We never actually hit the level 9 mark because that additional color isn't there.
Hmm.
You see, I like being smart, kind of clearing some 3 clears there just to give herself some extra time, and she's going to actually end up force killing Monty there.
We have the reversal. Oh, how fate is a cruel mistress.
Now, Monty had a lot of shake time there. His screen was shaking, and you can't lose while your screen is shaking. And I like being smart screen wasn't shaking at all. So at that point, she actually could have lost.
Yeah, you have
but
to.
Smartly, she realized that and started just clearing random 3s in order to give herself just a little bit more stop time so that she could outlast him.
Now, if you are very fast, frame perfect, you can just keep switching 2 blocks back and forth, and you will theoretically never lose.
Yes. So if you can mash at, I believe it's a frame perfect input, and a swap takes like 6 frames or something like that. So if you could mash at like a frame perfect input every 10th of a second, then yeah, you're good. You're good to go.
You would be invincible. So all of you aspiring puzzle leaguers, if you want to win every tournament ever, yeah, just get good at that.
Oh, is it 2 frames?
I'm reading chat as well.
I'm not too sure on the technicality, but I know you can do that.
Yes, but the minute you stop getting it, that frame is the frame you will lose on. So
Just to see how long you can keep that going.
So we have Nicole taking another one, and we are very close to being tied up. I wonder if these two would be willing to go to level 9 for set 3.
a very quick attack there. Those pillars on the left or right that players often make because of just how the chains end up falling, those can be really dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And I love how both of them had that long one column.
Yeah, the pillars of death. They just kind of sit there and take up an entire row.
I just saw that both players were kind of like waiting for trash blocks before they made their clear. You do see that pretty often because you get more clearing value with your one clear.
Mm-hmm.
And also the more blocks that you're clearing at simultaneously, the more time you have to adjust while the blocks are clearing.
And some very nice chaining from ilikebeingsmart there. But she did run out of stop time almost right as she made that swap. So
yeah, that 1-3 block clear was very clutch.
That was a very tight window there.
She managed to save herself with that, upper level clear. Monty also having one and making very quick use of it.
Work harder, young one. We are not beat yet. Work harder, young one.
I'm just holding my breath.
Harder.
There is one clear for ilikebeingsmart. It is up there, so. Oh no! A miss switch. Well.
Now she could have brought over a blue piece.
Yeah.
To get that far left clear, but
She either had to go all the way up in a short amount of time or make about 5 swaps, and that was going to be a difficult move either way.
Yeah. I think she was trying to get that soul badge line clear, give herself stop time to do something else.
You saw she kind of missed a chain there because the speed is very unforgiving when it comes to your chaining ability.
Now
Just a
frame late and it doesn't change. It just ends up becoming a regular clear.
And this is definitely one of the most input intensive puzzle games there is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to think like most puzzle games are a little bit slower, or at least can be played a little bit slower. But yeah, all these action puzzle games like Puyo Puyo, Panel de Pon.
We're not beat yet. We're not beat yet.
Alright, getting up to that minute mark, we're gonna start seeing some quick plays here.
Yeah, no more forgiveness for Flub.
Ooh, an unfortunate drop. Monty dropped just a little bit too early.
Yeah. Very good for I Like Being Smart. Keeping her alive.
Oh, she's got a very... Oh, never mind, I missed the green. I was going to say, she has a very hard swap to make there, but I did not see the greens on the left side.
Mm-hmm. And a very interesting thing about this game is that two players with all the same RNG and the same boards have very unique ways of playing it. And we have I Like Being Smart pushing this to a final set.
It is still match point for Monty, but I Like Being Smart could bring this back.
Here we are, down to the wire.
Work harder, young one. Work harder, young one.
It's very interesting that both of these players raise their stack to the same height.
It's just one of those like comfortable levels that you start to figure out when you know that a big attack is coming your way. Really good chain from I Like Being Smart there.
We're not beat yet. We're work harder, young one. We're not beat yet.
Now this is a point where I Like Being Smart could recognize that Monty's actually still chewing on this garbage and hasn't sent his chain yet. So this is a good opportunity for her to raise her stack and get a little bit more ammunition out of it.
So I did see her do something very smart, where instead of dropping the 7 combo, she moved the block out of the way to get the 6 combo.
Mm-hmm.
It does give your opponent 1 fewer block, but she takes it anyway, so.
Yeah, we don't like 7 combos in this game, and that's because it's basically the same as a 6, but the 6 is going to do a little bit more because they're easier to set up and they take up the same number of lines of garbage.
Yeah, so lines of garbage and amount of space are very different. It's very important to kind of give your opponent as few blocks as possible while taking up most of their vertical screen space.
We're not beat yet. We're not beat yet. We're
Not having a whole lot to work with here, but that was a lot of combo blocks on the bottom, so she's going to be getting a little bit of an easier time.
Mm-hmm. And both of these players are starting to drop like very big combos after their chains, and attempts to try to like get the chain and then have all the combos raise the stack to the top. So if they ever flub while trying to clear the giant trash block, if they make a couple flubs, yeah, that's a win.
Oh!
Very clutch.
That was a very scary moment there for I Like Being Smart.
Mm-hmm.
I could see her starting to struggle there, looking for an out there, but just in time she managed to get it.
Yeah, after a couple of flubs in this tournament already costing her, a game here and there, She needs some of those clutch plays to kind of bail her out.
We are not beat yet.
I see in chat we have a bit of a debate going on what the worst D-pad is. With this game, you really do need the D-pad. I believe there's only one player that actually, unironically, uses the joystick.
Most players actually do prefer the D-pad just because of the accuracy of it compared to a joystick. But if a joystick is what you're comfortable with,
I believe our good friend the Infinite Chain uses a N64 joystick to play this game for his inputs.
so I think like way back in the day, I want to say like 2010, 2011, when I first started deciding that this would be a fun speed game, I was very convinced that emulator players who played on keyboard had an unfair advantage because of how precise a keyboard is compared to even a D-pad, and how fast you can mash, you know, a good keyboard compared to like the N64 D-pad, which is a pretty good D-pad, but DualShocks, you did something right.
Mm-hmm. And we're coming down to the wire. We got a tie round here.
Yeah.
We are not beat yet.
And both players are putting on a lot of pressure. Yeah, both have been topped off for a little bit. Timer's climbing.
Yeah, Monty looking like he's in a little bit of danger, but he's got a couple of clears there that he can work himself out of.
Yeah, that was a smart Marshbad switch to make sure he preserved his block.
Yeah, when clearing those big chains, you have a lot of time to set up your next move. But when you get a short one like that one he just cleared, either the 2-chain or the 7 combo, you don't have a whole lot of time to set it up, so you gotta think a little faster.
It's a very smart play, very good adaptation from both players. Trying to keep both, you know, a strong attack going, but also not running too low on block. We're in a very perilous position for ilikebeingsmart, kind of not having no top
Okay,
level.
perfect.
Okay, that was good. That was very good.
Oh, but couldn't keep it going.
Yeah.
Normally, a chain, any kind of chain, is going to add the most amount of stop time to your timer. But you see on level 8 with 2 minutes in, that's hardly anything.
Yeah, you got to get, you know, some really big chains going to have any kind of decent amount of stop time. Yeah, and decent amount of being anything above like second.
Work harder, young one. No time. No time. Work harder, young one. No time. We are not beat yet, one.
So now we have Monty at match point.
We are not beat yet.
ilikebeingsmart, unfortunately, not able to top off Monty, so Monty's going to have a little bit more freedom here.
We are not beat yet, one. Work harder, young one.
Putting on a good chain, but not quite fast enough to link them together. So we have a 6 and a 4.
Looking a little
Instead of-
dicey.
What would be, I guess, an 11 chain?
We are not beat yet. We are not beat yet.
Very good chain incoming from ilikebeingsmart here.
We are not beat yet. We are not beat yet.
Monty getting very good luck on this, on the garbage block, though.
Having very good setups on, you know, a 2-layer trash.
He seems to be going down pretty far a lot, but he's getting bailed out by the RNG.
So, whatever works, I guess. And it looks like his luck ran out there.
Not enough.
All right, this is it. We are down to the last game. The winner is the one that advances here.
You can't be relying on RNG like that.
Let's not lose the run to RNG, dude.
If you're playing that risky, you
Work
know.
harder, young one. Work harder.
So we are down. Final round of this match.
Work harder, young one.
Good battle.
We're not.
It's like when you're playing Pokemon down to Elite Four, and you have,
We're not beat yet.
you know, only your final Pokemon, and you gotta fight land, barely beat them, and then you have your rival just at the end.
Work harder, young one.
Ooh, Monty's gonna feel this this chain here.
We're not beat yet. We're not beat.
And it's really hard to tell which
Yeah.
way this can go.
We're not beat yet. We're not.
So the UI for the overlay for the tournament is kind of blocking the top of these players' screens, where you can actually see all the stuff that your opponent has sent that hasn't fallen yet. So you know the players are getting more intel than what we see on stream.
Yeah, we can see as garbage is waiting to fall on their screen, they'll see the combo blocks as they appear separately from the chain. The chain will have a number denoting how thick it's going to be, so they can plan on exactly
We're not.
what's going to fall and when.
And if you're really good, you can even count how many lines that is and raise your stack and not get topped off. Though I'm not sure how many players do that, because I know I don't.
We're not beat yet.
It is a little, maybe a little too much tech for.
Especially for how much you have to be paying attention in this game at all times.
And there's already a lot you have to keep in your mind when you're playing this game competitively.
Well, even in your own field.
And that's it.
And we have the reversal.
We did kind of establish that Monty would have been the clear favorite here, but I like being smart, pulling out the win in a
Down to the wire
Clutch.
tiebreaker.
Clutch victory. Final set. Final set, 3-2. What a match.